about engineering mechanics. There are a lot of system of forces we have already discussed. There are subsequent laws, Lamis theorem, triangle law, parallelogram law, and all. Okay, so there will be such questions from the module one. So this friction, according to your syllabus, it is in module 9, right? The last module. Though I'm discussing it right now. Okay. See the friction. What is this friction? As of all of you know, that friction means is a resisting force. We have already studied these things. There is nothing new. But the thing is that when we study the friction in the perspective of engineering, so in that case there are a lot more definitions, there are a lot more applications that you may find. Okay, just because there are certain applications, like when you are walking, when you are walking on the floor. Okay, so if there is no friction, then you cannot walk, right? So if there is a oil that is in the floor, if you try to walk, you get slippery. I mean, you will be slipped simply. Okay, as because the coefficient of friction or the friction that gets reduced when there is a oil that is, I mean, lying over the surface. But if it is a rough surface, then it will be easier for you to walk. Okay. So how this phenomena is acting basically? When you try to walk, your body's weight basically that acts in a downwards direction due to the gravitation, Earth's gravitation. Okay, there will be reactive force, and when you try to, I mean, move forward, then there will be a backward force that will be acting at that instance when you try to move forward. Okay, so friction is always an opposite force, and that will always act at the interface of the two adjacent layers or surface, whatever it is. Okay, that means whenever two two surface of any object comes in touch, okay, in that moment or in that instances the friction will generate, and the frictional force that will be always in opposite in nature, right? So friction is one of the important aspects in this engineering mechanics subject, as because the frictional force is very essential in some of the applications, and it is very undesirable in some of the applications. Okay, you may understand when you try to, I mean, rub your hand, automatically your hands getting warmer. How it gets warmer? Just because the energies that you are giving as mechanical, okay, that energy is transforming to the heat energy using that frictional phenomena. When you try to rub your hand, one hand with the other hand, in that case there is a high amount of friction will generate. Due to that friction, there will be heat generation. That means whenever there is a friction, the heat generation phenomena is frequent one. Okay, so in some of the applications, like engine cylinder, gear arrangement, gearbox, basically all over where friction has to reduce. Okay, so for this reason there are some lubricating oil that must be used. Okay, that must be used. Okay, why? Just because whenever there is a gear oil that are utilizing in a gearbox, so the oil film that takes place in between the two making gears. When the gears trying to move one over another, then the oil film basically that will be inserted, or that will be I mean goes to the gap of that two particular mating gears. So what is the benefit then? I already told you that whenever there is a oily kind of thing, that will reduce drastically reduce the so coefficient of friction. Okay, so this coefficient of friction is another important phenomena. Okay, so in some of the applications, the friction is essential. In some of the applications, the friction is not essential. This friction is basically undesirable item. So in that particular cases, you have to reduce the friction by means of some other coolant or lubricating oil and anything else. Okay, but in some of the applications where friction is required, in that case, you have to provide the friction. You have to give certain arrangements so that it will generate the friction. This is why in our shoes, rubberized soles with some wavy texture that are given. Okay, so why this is given? Just because to make a grip that will basically increase the friction. In case of your formal shoes, that most of the formal shoes, the sole basically. Okay, that sole is basically plain kind of thing. Okay, there is not that much of grip. But in case of sports shoe, there are a lot more grips. Okay, rubberized grips. Okay, so what are the advantage? So it is very easy to understand that whenever try to run with wearing your formal shoe, you cannot run, you may slip. But when you try to run with by wearing the or by taking the sports shoe, then you can easily run. Why? Just because that will generate high amount of coefficient of friction, which will help you not to slip. Okay, so in that case, you'll be that will be I mean advantages for you, or it will be easier for you to move. Okay, so this is the definition of the friction. When a body slides over another body, a force is basically exerted at the surface of contact. It is always acts at the surface of contact by the stationary body. But if both the bodies are moving, so both the surfaces the frictional force, that is opposing force, that will generate. Okay, so the resisting force is called the force of friction. Resisting force is called as force of friction and acts always in the opposite direction of the motion, right? So you can understand it's very easily that there is a block. This is the block. This block weight is acting downwards direction, and there is a pulling force that is pulled this body. So there is a tendency to move in this direction. But the frictional force due to the rough surface, the frictional force that is acting in this opposite direction. So when a force P is applied to the block in a direction parallel to the surface of contact, a force F automatically get induced, act in the direction opposite to which the motion is short and offers resisting to movement of the block. So this resisting force acts as tangentially of the contact surface and is known as frictional force. So there are a lot of various types of force. It's not only that only friction is enough, but there are various categories of force or frictional phenomena that may generate. Okay, so the main thing is the solid friction and dry friction and wet friction. Okay, so in dry friction you can understand the places where the frictions are generated, that are simply dry, and the wet friction when the places that are in submerged in some oils or in some fluids. Okay, or even in case of when the fluid is flowing through a pipelines and all, so that basically indicates the wet friction. Okay, so there are one very important phenomena is that, like you know that is called limit friction. Limit friction. I don't know how many of you have experienced this phenomena. That suppose you have a heavy block. Okay, heavy block means suppose you pour some water in a glass, around 200 milliliter of glass. You just pour the glass, pour the water in the glass. Okay, now try to push the glass using your finger. single finger. Okay, if you try to push, you will see, you will recognize, or you can understand that as the force you are increasing to move the glass, water filled glass, using your finger, you will see that the frictional force also gets increases. Means you cannot move that glass easily. That is a thing. You cannot move the glass easily. So you have to increase slowly, 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 slowly the force by your finger, and you'll see, you will notice that at certain instance the glass is tends to move. Tends to move means at that instance the glass will sudden move. Okay, sudden move. That means, and after that movement you will see with the glass is in movement condition. If you just continuously giving the force using a finger, you will notice that the in case of initial what amount of force that are required, that is actually not required at all when the body is in moving condition. Like me, just wait for. হ্যালো, ক্লাসে আছি। হ্যালো, হ্যাঁ হ্যালো, হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, ক্লাসে আছি। হ্যাঁ, ক্লাসে আছি, ক্লাসে। Okay, sorry for the interruption. So you'll notice that when the body on the glass, water-filled glass, is just move condition or in motion, they will understand the initial force which is required or which you have used to move the glass, that is not required at all. Very low amount of force is required. So those who have driving experience, those who have cars or bikes, you can understand that when you start your bike or your car, then you have to place the gear in first gear. How many of you have driving experience? Can anybody answer, please? How many of you have driving experience? Bike or car?
I don't, sir. I don't have.
Yes, sir, bike.
Okay. So have you ever noticed that when you place the gear in first gear, okay, when you place the gear knob into the first gear and try to move, initially you require lot more torque. Torque you have already understood. The torque means the load carrying capacity. Okay, just because the vehicle has a particular weight around 800 to 1000 kilograms of weight. Okay, normal auto vehicles is having around 600 or 700 kgs. Okay, so at that, I mean, that amount of weight, okay, you cannot move easily, right? So you have to place your gear first in first gear, and most important, if you have ever, I mean, push your vehicle. Do you have any experience? কেউ কিরকম এক্সপিরিয়েন্স করেছে যখন গাড়ি নর্মালি নিউট্রালে রেখে ঠেলতে লাগো, তখন এক্সপিরিয়েন্স করেছে কিরকম হয়? এরকম কেউ আছে এক্সপিরিয়েন্স করেছো? গাড়ি নিউট্রালে আছে, তুমি ঠেলছো গাড়িটাকে।
Yes, sir.
So then you have understood that then you have experienced that when you try to push your vehicle, because the vehicle is too much of weighty, so when you push your vehicle, initially lot amount of force is required, right? Hana? Then once the vehicle is in motion, then you feel the initial force which you have given, that amount of force is not at all required. Yes or no? Feel করেছি কিনা?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, that is the thing. That is called the limit friction. This at that instant when the body tends to move. That is the particular point. Suppose your vehicle is in static condition. You try to push the vehicle, giving the force, pushing. Then at certain instance, your vehicle tends to move. That is the maximum frictional force that is generated. And once it suddenly moves or it is in motion, then the force you will recognize, you will feel that amount of force is not required at all. So the amount of force is false. So that resisting force, it will be reduced. We don't know whether it's a linear or it's a curve or like this. We don't know what will be the nature. But this is the maximum point where the frictional force will be maximum, and that is particular the point which is called limit friction, and this is called static friction. This linear length is called static friction. That point is called static friction. Why? Just because the body is in static position. Okay, and the body is in motion or moving condition when the body is in motion. So that's a kinetic friction, right? That's a kinetic friction. So this particular phenomena is called limit friction. Okay, so you can easily you can define the limit friction. Okay, it is very important phenomena for understanding limit friction. Frictional force at this instant is called limit friction. It tends to move. Okay, so the maximum frictional force exerted at the time of impending motion. Impending motion means nothing but tends to move. Tends to move, right? So when the motion is about to begin, is called limit friction. And once the body begins to move, there is a decrease in frictional force effect, static conditions, effect under constant friction. The frictional force between two moving surfaces is called kinetic or dynamic friction. There is also another type of friction, that is dry friction and wet friction. I have already mentioned. So in dry friction, there are two types: rolling friction and sliding friction. Rolling friction, nothing but where rollers are there, the friction between two surfaces which are separated by balls or rollers, like gears, like balls, like wheels. Okay. And sliding friction means that friction between two surfaces when the surface slides over another. Means like the sliding means sliding doors, the piston arrangement. Piston is sliding over the piston cylinder. Okay, like this. Okay, so this is called the sliding friction. This is a particular phenomena, rolling friction. So there is a roller. The roller is having radius r. Okay, so the roller is pulled by this force P. Okay, so this is the point of contact where to which the roller tends to move, right? So we can consider the moment with respect to A. The moment, if you consider like this, the moment with respect to A or about A, moment about A. Okay, if you consider that, so you can easily understand the weight of the ball, weight of the roller is acting downwards direction, and that perpendicular distance with is x. Okay, so that we can easily consider the moment about A just by the equilibrium condition. So W into x minus P into OB, that is equals to 0. So we are just equating the two moments which are acting, separate moments which are acting in this particular roller. Okay, so W into x minus P into OB, so OB is nothing but the R radius. Okay, so here we are just equating the P into R, that is equals to W into x. Okay, so the W is the weight of the wheels and distance where OB for small depression is equal to the radius of the wheel, that is R. Okay. So from this equation we can understand the horizontal component of reaction in is equals to P. Okay, and is called rolling resistance. Okay, and distance x represent the term called coefficient of rolling resistance. Okay. So the magnitude of rolling friction due to the surface depression is greater, we can easily understand, and than the sliding friction. It implies the greater force is required to roll wheels when they slide it over a rough horizontal surface. Another one is a fluid friction or say wet friction. The fluid friction mainly or manifests when the lubricating fluids is introduced in between the contact surface of the two bodies. Okay. So friction presents in the sliding contact bearing due to the fluid film. So, bearing, in case of bearing, there is a roller, there is a static one, there is a moving part. So there also we can utilize a fluid friction. Now there are laws of friction, laws of dry frictions rather. So the total friction that can be developed is independent of the magnitude of the area in contact. That is the number one. Number two, total friction that can be developed is proportional to the normal force. Proportional to the normal force means if it is a block, it is a block weight is acting downwards, so normal reaction is also acting upwards direction. Okay, so that force, the weight, whatever it will be acting, so that will be equivalent to your normal reaction. Okay, so for equating this, we are taking this coefficient of friction, that is mu. So coefficient of friction is nothing but the mu, coefficient of kinetic friction rather. Okay, so this equation valid only at the time of impending motion. So the body is in static condition, you cannot apply. So whenever there is impending motion conditions given, then you can apply this equation. Okay. The limit friction depends upon the nature of roughness or smoothness of the surface in contact. Okay. At the low velocity between sliding surfaces, the friction force is practically independent of the velocity. Okay. However, slight reaction in friction occurs when the speeds are high, and friction acts tangentially to the surface in contact in direction opposite to which the motion is trying to impede. Now, there is two important laws that you have to study. That is number, and that is one is angle of friction that is noted as phi, and angle of repose that is noted as alpha. So, angle of friction is nothing but the normal reaction in, if you consider the normal reaction acts in this direction and frictional force acts in this direction, right? So how could you get the resultant value? Okay, so that is another point. And if you consider this angle phi, so this is known as angle of friction. So that means the angle of reaction end and the limit frictional force, that is F is equals to mu n, acting at the surface of contact, can be combined to single resultant R called the resultant reaction. At the point of contact, the angle which is resultant, which this resultant R makes, that is the normal reaction N, is called the angle of friction. That means whenever there is a forces which are normal force, which are frictional force that are acting, the resultant, if the resultant acts from this, so that angle between this normal force and the reaction, that will be termed as angle of friction. Okay, so try to understand the angle of friction is completely depends on the resultant magnitude and directions. Okay, so depends upon that resultant, the angle of friction is dependent. Okay, that means whenever there is a normal reaction, frictional force is acting, the resultant we have to consider. So the angle between the resultant and normal force will be considered as phi, or angle of friction, where tan phi is nothing but equal to f by n. So f is nothing but mu into n by n. So get cancelled. So tan phi is equals to mu. Okay. In a similar fashion, angle of repose. So angle of repose is mainly required when the body is in inclined positions. Okay, it's not angle of repose you cannot apply when the body is rest in some horizontal surfaces, okay, or vertical surfaces. It will be only utilized when the body is in inclined positions. Okay, so this is the angle alpha. This angle alpha of the inclined plane at which a block resting on it and is about to slide the plane. Okay, that means when there is an inclined plane, the body is in rest condition and the body tends to move. Okay, the body tends to move. At that means at which angle the body tends to move, that will be defined as defining as angle of repose. That means that experiment mechanically instrument have to perform. Suppose the body is in this inclined position. Okay, so the body is not moving condition. The body is not slipped. So if you increase the inclination, if you increase the inclination, right? If you increase the inclination, then you may notice the body tends to slide. So that particular angle will be called as angle of repose. So this angle of repose or angle of repose alpha of the inclined plane at which the block resting on it is about to slide down the plane, and is equal to the angle of friction between block and the inclined plane. Okay, so From this diagram, if you apply the geometry, you can notice so weight of the block is acting simply downwards direction. The normal reaction that will be acting in tangentially. Okay, so that angle will be considered alpha, which is nothing but this angle. And the friction flow as the motion or motion of the body is in downward direction, so automatically the friction that gets in upside direction, right? So you have to understand, if suppose the mm, uh, the surface of this inclined plane is made up of glass, the glass is so much smooth, so you can understand that much inclination is not at all required. So in that case the inclination may be like this. Okay, if it is made of glass. But if it is asbestos, so asbestos, coming as rough material. So at that roughness, you'll feel that insulation is also not enough. That insulation are required like this. Okay. So this is the fact. So where or at which angle the uh, the object or the body tends to slide, tends to move. That is a particular angle which is known as angular repose. Okay. So by taking or considering this equilibrium condition fx equals to 0, fy is equals to 0, so r is equivalent to w cos alpha, and subsequently mu r is equals to w sin alpha if x and y if y simultaneously. So if you equate this 2 by 1 means 2 divided by 1, so it will be tan alpha is equals to mu. And here we have already discussed tan phi is equals to mu. Again we have discussed tan alpha is equals to mu. That means tan alpha is equals to tan phi, so ultimately phi will be equivalent to alpha. Okay, phi will be equivalent to alpha. Now here is one numerical I must discuss, that a wooden block, there is a wooden block resting on a horizontal plane. Determine the force required to pull it or push it. Assume mass of the block 15 kg and coefficient of friction is 0.4. So from this particular point, you have to pull the body as well as push the body. So the angle is given 15 degree. Weight of the block is 5 kg. How could you calculate? It's very simple. First draw the free body. So that is the weight is acting downwards. So the normal reaction acting upwards direction. So due to which we are utilizing the frictional force, that is mu n, and there is a subsequent force which are acting at this particular angle. So if you consider fx equals to 0 and if you consider fy equals to 0, so in case of fx is equals to 0, so p1 cos theta, p1 cos theta, just considering this triangle. Okay, by taking some known names here, you can easily consider these triangles. Okay, so p1 cos theta minus mu n, because these two are mainly the opposing forces acting in horizontally. Okay, P1 cos theta minus mu n, that is equals to 0. Next, P1 cos theta, instead of theta, you can replace the value of theta, that is 1504 Newton. So you can get the values. Okay, in the same manner, P1 sin theta, that is acting in the vertical direction. So P1 sin theta, due to which is that, okay, there is P1 sin theta, and minus mg is acting in downward direction as well as the normal reactions. If you equate these two, okay, you'll be getting two equations, 1 and 2, and by equating these two equations you'll be getting the P1 value is 18.36 Newton and n value is 44.31 Newton. So it is basically pushing. When you are pushing, now when you are pulling, the same phenomena you can pull by using some rods. Okay, so when you push it the same way, you have to think about the directions. So the direction is positive, negative, that will change. Okay. So in case of pushing, fx is equals to 0. So fx is equals to 0 means whatever forces are in x direction. So that will mu n minus p2 cos 15. Okay, and subsequently F is equals to 0, normal reaction acting upwards, in the acting downwards, P2 sine 15 acting in upwards direction. Okay, so this phenomena, if you solve, then you'll be getting these two equation again, 3 and 4. And by equating these 3 and 4, you will be getting the values of n and you will be getting the value of p or force that is required. Right. There is another important numerical that I must tell you that there is a block like A, B, C, D. These blocks are there. So weight of the block is acting downwards direction. Uh, the height is given, but the condition is that here is a pushing force. Okay, there is a pushing force which is acting not at corner at this distance. Okay, at this distance. For horizontal force P, that would be permit to just move the block without tapping. So what you have to calculate a rectangular block mass m rest on a floor. The coefficient of friction between the block and the floor is the mu. What is the highest position for a horizontal force P that would permit just move the block without tapping? Tapping means just give the initial phenomena. Okay, so what will be the maximum height? So without tapping, it can move. That you have to consider or you have to calculate. Okay, so it's very simple fact. You have to draw first the free body diagram. Once you draw the free body diagram, then we will understand the fx and fy is equal to 0. So subsequently mu n minus q, that two forces are basically acted. Okay, so mu n minus 3 that is equal to 0 and second force is n minus mg. Okay, so if u into d into that is equals to that is minus mg into b by 2. So by equating these things, we will be getting the d value will be b by 2 into mu. That is d by 2 into mu. So that will be utilized as the your phenomena while without tapping it can move. Right? Is that clear to you all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm not stretching my lecture as because these things requires a clear mind. So in next class I'll be discussing as because that are much more complicated one. Okay, and I want you to give or consider your full concentration, nothing else. Okay, so I'm giving you the attendance link. Any one of you having any doubts related to today's discussion? কারো কোনো doubts আছে? যদি কারো কোনো doubts থাকে, please জিজ্ঞেস করতে পারো। I have already given the